Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, mahaba, moni moni wanji, namaste, jumbo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name's Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are coming to you from the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville in the southwest corner of Boston, Massachusetts. We are so delighted and so very honored that you join us in our mission to help all families grow closer through reading. Please be sure to tell all of your family and friends about the show. And please be sure to subscribe to the show in the iHeartRadio app, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, Good Pods, Podbean, wherever you find your podcasts. Our guests today are Tom Tracy and his daughter, Alice Catherine. They are here to help us celebrate National Adoption Awareness Month. Before we invite Tom and Alice Catherine into the studio, we want to invite you to connect with us on social media, facebook.com/readingwithyourkids, at Reading With Your Kids on Instagram and on TikTok, at Jedley Magic on Twitter. Be sure to check our Reading With Your Kids pages on Pinterest and on YouTube. And, of course, you can visit us at readingwithyourkids.com. We have a contact button right up there at the top of the page you can use to send us a message. Let us know who you would like to hear on a future episode of the podcast. You can also let us know what you love about the show, and you can let us know what annoys you about the show. Although I can't imagine anything annoying you about the show. And I know for one thing, you are going to be absolutely delighted meeting Alice Catherine. So why don't we meet her and her dad right now? I am so excited. We have a very, very special guest here today joining us from beautiful South New Jersey. Our guests today are here they're here to celebrate how awesome adoption is. Please welcome back to the show Tom Tracy and the very wonderful and beautiful Alice Catherine. Alice Catherine, how are you?
Good.
Wonderful. Tom, how are you?
We're doing great. I'm great, and we're doing great.
That's really wonderful. Now, Tom was here on the show before. He is the author of the Scoochies book series. Remind us of the titles and what they're all about, please.
Yeah, so there are two books in this series right now, or in the collection. Mm-hmm. It's the first book is Scoochies Skiddles in Funnick Grandmas, which is all about a special little girl who happens to be with us today and her cousin spending their day at their grandmother's house. And then the second book is Scoochies Adoption Story.
And Alice Catherine, you're part of this book series, right? You're like you're like the star of the book series.
Who are you in the book? What's the character that's you?
Scoochie.
Scoochie. How did Tom come up with that name for your character?
It was Daddy.
That's right. It was your other daddy.
Your other daddy.
And how did he give you? That was your nickname. Why did he give you that nickname, Scoochie?
Cause I kept scooching in my bed.
I have a beagle who scooches all around. I think it's kind of different than you because he's trying to clean himself.
That's not why you were scooching. You weren't trying to clean yourself, were you?
No. I just scooch, and I don't realize that I'm scooching in my bed.
Well, unrealized scooching is perfectly permissible and an awful lot of fun. I have to ask you, Alice Catherine, how does it feel to be the star of a picture book?
It feels weird.
It feels weird.
It feels weird. What feels weird about it?
Why does it feel weird to you?
It feels weird because everyone is looking at me.
Everyone's looking at you. You know, there are a lot of kids who are hoping that one day they'll be famous and everybody will be looking at them. Here you are. That's already happened to you. That's pretty special.
Do you think you're famous?
I am famous. I'm on TV.
Yes, you have been on TV. That's right. Absolutely.
So, Alice Catherine, can you tell us a little bit about Scoochie's adoption story?
What's that book about?
It's about my adoption.
It is about your adoption.
I'm not all that smart. Can you tell me what the word adoption means?
I don't know.
What does that mean when Daddy and I adopted you? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh, we don't know. Does that mean that you became our daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had to go in front of who?
The judge.
And the judge made us promise what?
To be your dad forever.
To be your dad forever, and to do what else?
No, to love me.
To love you, yes. And do we?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, you better believe it. We sure do. We sure do. Well, Jed, we have a little silliness happening right now with our famous celebrity.
Silliness is an awesome thing. I'm wondering, Alice Catherine, do you remember how it felt that day when the judge said, asked your dads if they would love you forever, and you became their daughter? Do you remember how you felt?
I don't know how it felt because I was a baby.
Look at me, silly me. I'm telling you, I'm asking all these dumb questions. Well, how do you feel now that these two dads adopted you?
I feel good.
Good. That's awesome. Awesome.
So do we, by the way. We feel really good, too.
I feel like I'm bursting out of an egg.
You feel like you're bursting out of an egg? Is there that much love and joy inside of you? Oh, my goodness. That's a lot.
That is wonderful. And you folks who are listening don't know this, but Alice Catherine just made an egg appear, magically travel from South Jersey all the way to Boston, and it appeared inside a bag in my hands. It was a really magical thing.
And we watched it over the computer, so we can say we really saw that egg appear in that bag, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was magic.
So I'm wondering, Alice Catherine, has the kids in your class, have they read your story?
Yeah.
And they did. And what did they ask you questions about it?
No.
No, nobody asked you any questions?
Did they ask for your autograph?
No, but other people have asked for your autograph, haven't they? Where have we been where people have asked you for your autograph?
The signing books.
We've done some book signings together. Yes, we have. Yep.
That's pretty special. That's pretty special. You know, one of the reasons I wanted Tom and Alice Catherine back on the show is because November is Adoption Month. And I really think that adoption is such a beautiful thing. There are so many kids around the world and throughout the United States that are waiting and searching for a forever home. And I just love when people like Tom make that choice. I just love when people like Alice Catherine decide, yeah, I want to make these two dads really happy and create a forever home together. And I really wish that this was a video show because I would love for you all to see the love that is happening between Alice Catherine and Tom. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, thank you. We're honored. We're so glad, actually. Thank you for sharing that. And we're really happy to be here. And November is not National Adoption Awareness Month. We've got really there is a National Adoption Day, which is November 19th.
Okay.
And we just had World Adoption Day, which it was November 9th. So two major or two focused days within November, dedicated to adoption, but the whole month is really about adoption awareness. And, you know, there are kids that are like Alice Catherine, who are adopted at birth through a match process between the biological family and the adoptive family. And then there are other children who may be in foster care who are waiting to be adopted by a family. And then, of course, that's domestically. And then, of course, we have a host of international adoption processes as well. So there are a lot of wonderful ways to make a family through adoption. And we're happy to be able to tell our story both here and through our books.
Yes. Well, I just have to tell you, Tom and Alice Catherine, that I'm going to pretend like I knew there were just adoption days, but I made the command decision. Since this is my podcast, I made the whole month Adoption Awareness Month, and it deserves at least a month. I think it deserves a season because there are a whole lot of kids out there. My understanding is that there are every day here in the United States, there are 400,000 kids in the foster care system. That's 400,000 too many. And not every family is able to be a foster family. Not every family is able to be an adopted family. But I think there are a lot more families out there that are able to do it, and we want to encourage them. And if you were able to see Alice, Catherine, and Tom together right now, you would say, yeah, I want to give that a shot. It's a beautiful thing. Is it, Alice, Catherine, I have to tell you, is it always easy? Do your dads, does your Odie sometimes make you feel a little bit crazy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's part of being a family. That is part of being a family. I know my daughter would tell you that I've made her very crazy at times over the last 26 years. Hey, I have to ask you, Alice Catherine, you have a special name for Tom. You call him Odie. What does that mean?
Other dad.
Your other dad. Your other dad, yeah. And I understand that you are still in contact with your birth family. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that, can you tell me a little bit about your birth family?
I'm one mom, 3 dads.
One mom and 3. What a lucky little girl you are.
She's got a very big, large family because we count all of us, our family, my husband's family, and her biological family. We are all one big family.
That's wonderful. And I think that's pretty special because I think that's kind of unique within adopted families that the birth family and the adopted family are getting along. And is that pretty wonderful, Alice Catherine?
So who did you have a chance to meet in person last summer?
I got to meet, I don't know, Paisley.
And that was your what?
Sister.
Yes.
Wow. You got to meet your sister. How old is your sister?
I don't know. 10.
10. 10 years old. Wow.
And when you went, where did you meet?
At the playground.
And what did you two do all day long?
Make bracelets.
You made bracelets. You played on the playground. You had a great time, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
I think I jumped down the mountain.
I think you might have jumped out of something. Out of the playground, a mountain, something. I'm sure you jumped, ran. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Did you enjoy that?
That's wonderful. Alice Catherine, tell me, do you like having your dad or your Odie read books to you?
No.
What? What? No, she is fooling you. We have read to her since she was born. We have stacks and stacks of kids' books in her room. She begs to read. She is pulling your leg, Jed. Don't let her do that.
I was going to say, I think we've met the first kid in the world who doesn't like to have their parents read to them.
She also is beginning to read, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to maybe someday bringing your book to school and reading that to your classmates?
I don't know how to read that.
Not yet,
yeah.
but soon.
That book's got some bigger words.
I
Yeah.
can only read tiny books.
Okay, I'm tiny, so you could probably read me. Well, I'm tiny short. I'm kind of not tiny horizontally. Anyways, hey, Alice Catherine, I'm wondering, what do you hope to be when you grow up?
A mom.
What a beautiful thing, a mom. That's like one of the most important jobs in the world.
Do you think so? Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Wow. Well, I'm wondering, Alice Catherine, if there are people listening to us all over the world. Okay, there are people listening to us in Iran, in China, in Russia, in Brazil, in England, in France, in Canada. Just a few people in Canada, but and all over the United States. If there's a family out there that's thinking, I think maybe I'd like to be an adopted mom or dad, but I'm a little bit nervous about that. What would you say to that person?
I don't know.
Would you say that they should look into it and talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think?
Would you tell them? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go right ahead, Tom.
Would you tell them that it's a good thing?
It's a bad.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, we are closing up Adoption Awareness Month with somebody telling us don't do it.
Well, when you're 6 and it's later in the evening
That's
and
right.
you've been in school all day, you get a little tired and your words get mixed up.
And that smile tells me that she is playing with us and she's having fun. Hey, you did have a long day at school. What's your favorite thing to do in school, Alice Catherine?
I like to do recess.
That was my favorite subject, too. In fact, it was the only subject I got an A in.
What do you think about that? Say, everybody's got to be good at something, right? Oh my goodness.
Well, I know.
Well, can we share something else though with you?
Absolutely, yes.
Speaking of adoption, who else do we have in our house? You haven't even shared that.
My dog.
Oh my goodness. Who's upstairs sleeping right now in her crib?
My baby sister.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
So you
And was she adopted?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she was adopted too.
And do you remember when your dad said that we're going to adopt your baby sister?
Nope.
Nope. She's not remembering
do you,
anything.
do you remember when that happened? We were all supposed to.
I was on vacation with Grandma and my cousin.
That's right. You were on vacation, and then we got a call that your sister was born, and we needed to go to another state, and we couldn't go on vacation because we needed to go get her from another state. So you came back from vacation, and there was a sister in your house, right?
Stop.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
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 And how do you feel about your sister, your adopted sister?
She's cute.
Awesome.
But he doesn't think she's cute.
Get out of
He
town.
thinks she's just so. Stop. You don't control my own.
Come on, stop.
Stop.
Well, this is really fun because it's a clear demonstration that there is real love between you and Alice Catherine, and that you are truly a family. And Alice Catherine is like any 6-year-old that's talking to some old ugly guy through the computer. And
yes, no one can see the feet that are now in the air.
And she has beautiful striped socks, and they're amazing. And this is an amazing. This is an amazing love story, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And Tom, I want to thank you and your husband for making the sacrifice to bring Alice Catherine and her adopted sister into your life, making the effort to maintain that relationship with her birth family, because it's obviously very important to her. And just being an example for other families out there, giving them hope that adoption, it seems scary. It's going to take a lot of work, but it's obviously from the relationship that I'm witnessing here, it's worth it. And
it's worth every minute. Sometimes comes with a little bit of heartache. It sometimes is hard, but it is worth every single minute. So we are so grateful for adoption because it's only through adoption that we were able to create our family.
Yeah. And both of your books are available. Can you tell us about the website so folks can check it out?
Yeah, sure. So the website is ScoochieandSkiddles.com. So just spelled out, Scoochie and Skiddles, spelled with 2 Ds. So SKIDDLES. And there's links to my books on the website, as well as we're doing a book drive for the month of November for National Adoption Awareness Month. And there is a link, and you go to the webpage, it's Authors for Adoption. If you go to that link, it will explain more about new books that we are collecting that have adoption, foster care, or just family themes that we are then donating to some organizations that are dedicated to strengthening families. And they will get them to, all the families and children that can benefit from those books. Yes. So we hope that people give generously. And if anybody buys one of my books, I'm going to match it in kind so that it's a double donation. Beautiful.
And Tom, before we go, I know we've talked about this, not only you and I, but we've talked about talked about this with Dr. John DeGarmo and other adoptive parents. There are a lot of ways, if adoption or foster care isn't right for your family, there are still ways for you to support adoption and foster care. One of the ways you mentioned is the book drive that you're doing. But if there is a person in your life who's made the choice to adopt or made the choice to foster, there are certainly ways to support that and become an uncle or an aunt to that child, to offer, hey, you guys work really hard. Why don't you take a night off and we'll babysit for your kids? And
absolutely,
it's you have a lot going on here. Can we buy a Christmas gift?
I love that, Jed, because that one wasn't me. Let's just make that really clear. That wasn't me.
Oh, great. That is wonderful. That is beautiful. We are going to blast that out. That's right. Alice Catherine relieves the gas crisis.
Anyway, so almost case in point there. So regardless of how you become a family, you're still parents. Parents could appreciate a relief, appreciate a night off, appreciate a kind gesture. So I really love that sentiment. Thank you for sharing that. And if anybody wants to come babysit my kids, we'll take an adult night off. No problem.
Yeah. And Alice Catherine can share her gas with you.
She's got lots of gifts. That's just one of them.
We've had a really wonderful time speaking to two beautiful people, Alice Catherine and Tom Tracy. My friends, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been a pleasure, and I'm so glad that we were able to bring this special guest with us who is super silly right now. But thank you so much.
Please be sure to join us for the next episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be the newest member of the spooky middle grade authors group, Laura Synth. She'll be here to celebrate The Clackerty, a great spooky middle grade novel. You don't want to miss it. Hey, if you're the author of a fantastic children's book, you don't want to miss an opportunity to visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Be sure you click the authors click here button at the top of the page. That way you can find out how you can be a guest here on the Reading with Your Kids podcast. And in a long-form conversation, tell the world about your fantastic children's book. You can also find out about our Certified Great Read program and also find out about our monthly promotion program, celebrating your book with commercials here on the podcast, messages to our 100,000 plus social media followers, and display your book on our nationwide network of digital pedestrian billboards. You can learn all about that and more at readingwithyourkids.com and clicking on that author's click here button at the top of the page. I want to thank the folks who made today's show so wonderful. Of course, I want to start by thanking our guest, Tom Tracy, and his beautiful daughter, Alice Catherine. Please be sure to check out Scoochies Skiddles. We also want to thank all of the beautiful families out there who have chosen to adopt a child or chosen to become a foster family. Thank you so much for making that beautiful, beautiful choice. I want to thank my team, Fatima Khan, Rory Grady, Mirabella Q, Jordan Saley, Stephanie Davila, Skylar Strauss. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me. Most of all, we all want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and as always, thank you so very much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.